So I know that the thumbnail for this was not a very attractive thumbnail, but I don't actually know what else to put on it. I have just finished streaming Infinity Nikki for today. It was about 2.5 hour stream. For you, this would have happened a week ago. For me, this has happened like literally today. During the stream, I had 4 separate crashes. Now, for some people, Infinity Nikki really lags and stutters. For me, I have to switch off every single little program that's not Infinity Nikki. Discord, Steam, EA, Google Chrome. I have to switch off everything that's not my stream and the chat and Infinity Nikki. And then Infinity Nikki maxes out on GPU and memory at the same time, and it causes my stream to crash first because my computer desperately tries to keep the process of the game itself running. I am not the only creator that is having quite a lot of troubles. I have seen quite a lot of very negative sentiment from other creators saying, I have this beefy PC and it can't run this game without stuttering. Furthermore, in the game, I have to do optimizations just to be able to stream it. I have to think about what my character is wearing because any clothes that will interact with other clothes. So if you have a base layer of material, then you have outerwear on top, or if you have a long veil and a base layer of material, when you run these two cloths, they generate physics because they're driven by physics and they're colliding with each other and with Nikki's model underneath. It creates lag. So you have to think about wearing more simplistic sets, setting your game to run on fairly lower settings. Like I'm running it on high, not on ultra. I can run every other damn game on ultra, including games that have released literally this year. Not Infinity Nikki. Now, Unreal Engine 5 is known to run poorly, but by this point, this is a joke. And you see more and more posts like this. I have several posts to read to you today, so let's just get through it. Losing passion for the game plus bloating off it. I think this person might be playing it on a phone because they're right. I can't really zoom this in, so I'll just have to go with their picture over here. Their game is taking up 86.8% of all space used from the looks of it on the drive. Rant, why is the game over 100 gigabytes in file size and still not optimized after so many updates? I love the new content and such, but as a long-time old player, I'm just generally losing passion for the game because the frequent lag spikes and freezes and more updates pile on. Not to mention the bugs that come with every new update. Every time new content drops, I feel like it's a slog to play the game now. You have other posts like lag optimization is unacceptable. I'm playing on PC and I don't have a potato. For the PC nerds, I have AMD Ryzen 7 5800, a 5060 graphics card, and DDR4 4000 32GB of RAM. It makes my fans go freaking crazy loud like no other game. I have been tolerating this for a while now. Today I logged in, I am stuttering all over the place, especially on my home island. It is making it next to impossible to build, and I'm about 350,000 of the total build limits. I've reported this as a bug report, but I only speak up here because in a Infinity Nikki content creator's video, she also had so much lag showcasing the new outfit. It's disgusting that a relatively expensive build can't even do it this patch. Are you experiencing the same issue too? Scrolled forever trying to find somebody talking about this. Certain parts of housing are literally unplayable. The bulk place mode freezes the entire game for a minute. The 3-second delay after every input made me rage quite yesterday. thing is, I'm not even on PC, I'm on PS5. So it seems this performance issue is cross-platform somehow. This is incredibly interesting, guys, because when you have a PC build, a lot of developers don't necessarily bother with optimization. They just assume that you can get your hands on NASA PC and out hardware the issues if you need to. When they're releasing console builds, because there's only one type of hardware really for you to optimize for, games tend to run fairly well on console. The exchange tends to be that you're set on like permanent medium settings effectively or something along those lines. Like you lose a little bit of graphical prettiness, but you get a lot of stable performance in exchange. When you don't get stable performance on a console, something is really, really wrong with the game. And there's more. I just hope in the future this game isn't 288 gigabytes. This is how much storage is currently available on my Steam Deck. I might be able to salvage some space, but otherwise I probably would want extra room to binge play Kentari and other great builders in HF2. Want to play a guessing game on total gigabytes at the end of the game? Sounds like a great theoretical time. Also, installing game now. They're going to have to figure something out, because otherwise they'll keep shrinking their player base as people have no choice but to drop out. We have double pressure on us. The game's size keeps on ballooning. People on phones have been asking for ways to uninstall parts of the game for a very, very, very long time now. In other gachas, if you play through the story, you can delete all information to do with that story to like free up some space. Infinity Nikki recently has been keeping a lot of things permanent. There are some anger to do with the kind of functions that are kept permanent that wouldn't be there if the game wasn't so bloated and running like a snail. For example, there is quite a lot of anger directed at running your own hot pot, running your own bath, running your own drink shop, running your own snail salon, running your own training stylist guild thing, running your own grow a behemoth. Because these features, they're not very well received. People generally don't super like them, and they're taking up space. Normally, when you introduce a feature that can be avoided and left behind after a patch that people don't quite super enjoy, people don't tend to get super pissy at it. The reason why people are getting super pissy at it is because everyone is aware at how bloated this game right now is. Phone players can't play it properly because of the game size. PC players and PS5 players might have the amount of size, but they're gonna be in general really unhappy with how poorly the game performs. It stutters on most machines. People with the top of the line specs have to drop their graphics settings, have to really fiddle with how many objects they have in their house, what they're wearing, just to get the game running on an acceptable frame rate. And if these people, if they paid thousands for their rig, and every other game runs fine, that produces quite a lot of anger. People on not so powerful rigs have issues with lag and stuttering, and perhaps playing on lower settings is more of a norm, but having a game that can't keep a stable frame rate, or having a game that lags by 2 seconds every single time when you try to move something in your house, is definitely also something that gets on their nerves. For me, what gets on my nerves is the fact that I can stream and record every other game just fine. I can stream and record Fatal Frame 2, the Crimson Butterfly remake just fine. Like, smooth as butter. I can even do Oblivion remake, and that one is also on Unreal Engine 5 and is known to be as an optimized hot mess. Because it is. But guess what? I can still stream it and record it just fine. When my own stream starts self-destructing every like half an hour on average, because the game is maxing out my GPU and my memory combined, something is really, really wrong, and it really, really grinds my gears. Now, if we were a very niche, sort of high intensity, high performance, not casual game, for example, real-time strategy. Real-time strategy is known to be uber heavy on CPUs. Like, insanely heavy on CPUs, because people have all these thousands of units and they're at war with all these other thousands of units, and it's not even a turn-based game, so it all has to happen at the same time. Real-time strategy enthusiasts accept that this is the case. They build for machines prepared for that heavy CPU load. Therefore, if you're making a real-time strategy game and it is heavy on the CPU load, it will be considered acceptable by its player base. Infinity Nikki is targeting casuals, and they're trying to promote themselves as running on phones, PS5, and PC. And there's even rumors of an Xbox build floating around, which may or may not come true. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Like, if that has moved since I made this video in the week that this video is gonna sit in my hard drive, then I'm sorry for not being up to date. I'm in the past right now. But it's targeting casuals. Casuals that will tend to play on laptops and phones and dedicated consoles. And here's the thing. No setup runs this game fine. And casuals are known for having some tolerance of bad performance. Because if you're not a real, like, really, really into gaming, I don't want to say not a real gamer, because you are, but if you haven't experienced a lot of other games and you don't know what your system can do exactly, you might be a bit more forgiving if a game doesn't run very well and blame your system instead of the game, where the blame in this case should lie. So casuals are sort of forgiving, but that forgiveness ends when people try to save and build a rig specifically to run this game, and they can't because it runs good on nothing. You lose a lot of goodwill, you lose a lot of people that get frustrated with battling the performance, patch in and patch out. You lose your mobile players that go, I erased absolutely everything and this game is still bigger than what my storage can allow, so I have to accept that even though I like it, I have to put it away. You lose your PS5 players that go, I have a dedicated machine to play games, so like, what gives? Every other game is made for my machine, so why is this game running so bad? And then you lose even hardware enthusiast PC players that go, I spent thousands on my machine. It can perfect any other game. Yours is enraging because it's not performing. When you manage to upset so many people at the same time, the natural progression is that your player base will shrink month in and month out. You can make the absolute most amazing patches, greatest, most fun stories, wonderful clothes. You can bedazzle. Your game can be 11 out of 10, but if it can't run on people's systems, then people can't play it. that's like where the line gets drawn. So sorry for going on this rant, but I am being as real as can be. This lack of optimization will 100% kill the game eventually. Because every single time when people have to shuffle around with their settings in order to squeeze a tiny bit of runtime from this game, you're losing more and more people that can't do that, whose machines just can't keep up. And if you can't upgrade to a point where this game runs well, then buying more hardware even is not the answer. Eventually, you have to admit defeat and give up. And as more and more population gives up, you're left with less and less population. That's like the natural progression. This is not like a rage bait. This is not like an exaggeration. This is a very serious problem. It is why I am dedicating a whole video to it now, because sure, I can shuffle a little bit. I can go from high graphics to medium graphics. But at what point will my own shuffling have to stop? Would be my question. At what point do you out-bloat your whole audience? Because we're currently straight on the road to that, and I'd rather we weren't. I'd rather Info took this problem seriously, and I really, really, really hope that they do. So, thank you for listening to this very, very long rant. Sorry about the boring thumbnail and a rather boring topic. I hope I'm gonna see you on my other videos. Thank you so much for my Patreon supporters, and toodaloo for now.